So Tanya here and Alan's joining me from Canada. As you can see, we're off to a fierce start. So it looks like Canada have control here. New Zealand's trying to get control back. Bringing it up against the wall there into the corner. Nice little flick. Some good curls. New Zealand have taken that puck and then knocked back down by Canada.
That looks like a quick drive off New Zealand.
Goal. So we'll just get Alan to switch the screen for us and we'll see what the ref is there. There we go. So no, there was a gloving offence before that.
So that goal was called back for the Kiwis. Canada's going to get a bit of a break here. And back underwater.
Driving up the wall there. Bit of fierce fight between the players. It looks like Canada managed to steal that back. Them to score this early. We're going to want to hold them out as long as they can. Sounds like we have another call there. Let's see what the refs have picked up.
And it looks like it's going to be an obstruction call against New Zealand. So New Zealand's doing a really good of a job of attacking, but it also
seems Canada, isn't it? They're the black team.
I'm so turned around right now.
Sorry,
I'm so
guys,
sorry.
We've come onto it and it's been a bit of a whirlwind, so bear with us while we get our bearings. And we're back down now.
Just got a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm getting super distracted.
Poor Alan is also doing a lot of volunteering and doing a million things, so it's been hard to try and find commentators and pull people together for this game.
But it's all right. You've got this. You're doing great. You can do it, and I'll just try to press buttons.
So we should be right.
Looks like we got another
call there. So
this one's against Canada for gloving. It looks like we are currently just into the Kiwis' end. Not too far, just past half.
A little bit of gloving so far this game. All right, we're back into it. So a lot of work on that wall there. It's pretty difficult to see from this angle. We'll just try and keep the camera on there for you. So flick back round by Canada. They're obviously looking for an opening there. Nice breath hold. And New Zealand are going to want to get some people down to try and drive up, but we have another call by the ref there.
All right, so it looks like stick infringement against Canada. Canada really has to clean it up in this game.
That might have been an illegal stoppage. I'm not sure if it was a stick. Illegal stoppage.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I always get those two confused.
They're pretty similar, and sometimes the refs already had their arm up. So
yeah.
There we go. So New Zealand up again.
Looks like it's nice on the close wall, so you can see it a little bit better now.
It's pretty hard to stay down at that 3-meter mark when you're doing some curls. So
lots of fitness on these teams.
So they've all gone up, but that buzzer was actually for the other pool. So I'm not sure what's happened there. I think
looks like both the players now got
the
confused.
Two pools, they'll go from one pool to another pool, and last game everyone was playing in the other pool. So thankfully both teams came up with that one and not just one.
Equally confused teams is always good. And it looks like this is going to be against Canada. I believe it was for obstruction.
It looked like there was a bit of elbowing.
Free arming. Wow, I lost all my abilities to read refs' plays right now.
So yeah, hopefully they'll get their air in on that buzzer. They've got very different buzzers, it's just that they're going from one call to the other, which their brain takes a little bit to rewire, so luckily both teams did it, so it's much worse when one stops and the other keeps going with the three.
Yeah, exactly. Or when they go at the same time.
So another call, so there we have an obstruction. It looks like it's against Canada again.
Yeah, the problem is definitely trying to clean up the play is important for this game.
Should be going down again for New Zealand on that free back there.
Nice shot by the Kiwis. It just looks like Canadians got there, broke down.
It's a bit dangerous for the Kiwis because most of them would have been there.
Ooh, nice shot.
So
Perfectly read by his teammate there. Canada's getting a nice drive. Good
nice
defense.
block by the Kiwis. Good to see some Kiwi people down, just trying to shut that down.
It's really nice having all of these guys down on the bottom.
Once again, that other buzzer is getting a little confusing for the players, I think.
Yeah.
Seem to be coming up with that. So, but there we have one of our calls. So
Hopefully
especially if
they'll clean it
they've
up a
been
little
fouled against or they think something's happened that the ref might have seen, they'll hear that buzzer and come up thinking that.
And that looks like a warning for number 9 on the Kiwi team, which I believe is Terry
That's
Axford.
Terry, yep, he's the coach for that team.
Oh, and he's getting thrown out for 2 minutes for obstruction. This
So,
might end up, I hope, in a goal for Canada because they've been in there on quite a
That
bit.
gets a bit dangerous for us as a New Zealand team because he's a pretty strong back player, so they're going to want to put another back in just to make sure they've got a strong defence at this point.
Yeah, definitely, especially this close to their end with a disadvantage. They'll
Yeah.
want those strong back players in there.
So they would have pulled one of their forwards out for that move.
Lots of bodies down on the bottom.
Oh,
Looks like
there
something
might
went
have been
in.
a goal there. Conferring, looks like all three, yep.
And it looks like a goal for Canada, and I will let you know that number when we have it. But so that's almost halfway through the first half. We've got 1-0 for Canada.
So it's a bit of a rainy day here in Quebec. We've had a fair bit of rain overnight, rain yesterday. It's cooled things down a bit for the players that aren't used to the heat here.
Rainy morning, and that goal was scored by number 3, and that's Dave Amell.
And we're mid-morning here, almost lunchtime, so it's right in the middle of the day.
Good start, and as you can see, Yuri's on the far side in the middle taking pictures. That looks like it's going to be a really good shot. Far side just in his wetsuit.
Another scrimmage on the wall there. Looks like they've got a bit of a stalemate. Both people sort of fighting each other.
And right under the New Zealand sub box, so I'm sure they'll be thrilled about that, especially still having somebody in the sin bin.
That's right, it's a great time to get in, get out, stay recharged. Another call there. So let's see what that one was picked up on. So it looks like it's against Canada again.
Canada for gloving.
Oh, they're going to
Looks
have
like
a ref timeout. So that's, I think, the third time they've pinged someone for gloving. I'm not sure if they're all on the same team, but they may be discussing whether they start enforcing
Yeah, maybe.
that.
It might be a disagreement in call. It looks like she thinks it was a free arm. I like having the camera zoom up that close because if you're good enough, you can definitely read refs' lips. Ooh, actually against New Zealand for free arming, yeah.
Okay.
I guess she might have been playing the advantage, so she was saw something, was waiting to see if it affected the play when the other ref called it. So that means the first person is doing it. They're also calling a timeout for New Zealand, looking to get a little bit of air back and wait out that penalty.
Yeah, so Terry's still got 40 minutes on the clock there in the sin bin, so that will definitely hurt them. Assuming that time's right, it's a bit hard to keep track because every now and then with the timeouts and the sin bins, they seem to get the clock wrong. But that's still very dangerous for New Zealand to have someone out for that length of time, especially someone who is such a strong player in the back line. So some of them breathing hard there. They've been down having a good run at it, especially you can see Zolt there. He's obviously one of the backs who's, or one of the wings who's coming as a back just to support there. So
It looks like they've just got a few seconds left. New Zealand's probably getting their minds in. Don't want to have another goal quite yet. Well, they never want to have a goal in on them, but they don't want to do it with somebody in the sin bin either.
So here we go.
Nice push by Canada. Good defense by the Kiwis so far, trying to get it out to the side. Canada's trying to get it in the middle because it is much easier to score from the center with that 3-meter long net than it is from the side with the 6 inches.
Nice little steal there by the Kiwis, trying to get a bit of a breakaway. Oh, and there's the buzzer again, so the refs have managed to spot something else. Let's see, so looks like that one's against Canada as well.
And that's number 15 for Canada, that's Simon.
So I think that was a 1 minute, and looks like Terry's going to be coming back in just a short while to their team.
Refs are getting ready. Let's go back to that screen.
Okay, so going down now. Looks like they've got their team back in.
Yeah, so they're going to have their 6th player in, so it's now going to be 6-on-5 advantage for the Kiwis. I always found with the breakaways that I'm not a forwards, I don't swim that far, but it's too much responsibility. Once you start, you kind of have to finish it.
Well, you're really hoping that no one's going to come down and shut you down with your sprint off because...
especially on that little blind corner.
Yeah, but at least you're getting, meters in the other direction, which helps. So
Yeah.
someone there was playing advantage. Looks like it might have been against New Zealand that time for obstruction.
Yeah. Only about 30 seconds left for the penalty for Canada. Lots of speed coming off that advantage.
Good to see New Zealand players down on the bottom though.
Very nicely cleaned up. Not sure if the rest of the Canadian team was just not quite ready yet or what was up, but it was a good start, just not the bodies done to keep it.
Buzzer there by the refs. Let's see what the call is. So it looks like it's against New Zealand.
Another use of the free arm. That's been 2 or 3 of them so far. I'm not sure if they've all been against the Kiwis or if they've been kind of equally split, but that's not one you see very often.
It's a bit hard when you're against that wall there. It can get a little bit argy-bargy at times. So
yeah,
that could be what's happening. People just trying to get that little bit of leverage off the wall.
And I believe Simon should be hopping right back in right now, or shortly.
Okay, so
another call
against New Zealand again.
Illegal
stoppage.
stoppage.
Illegal stoppage. Yeah. So you're familiar with this team, Ellen, the Men's Masters Canada?
I'm familiar with some of them. Most of them are located in Quebec, and my French is not great, and I don't come out here that often, so I'm familiar with one of the players who I play with all the time, but not most of them.
So some very unhappy refs there by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, and that is number 5. That's Martin getting thrown out for a dangerous shot.
I think they're checking number 11 is okay. He did have a knock to the nose yesterday, and so he's already got a slight cut there from yesterday. So I think they're just checking that there's no further damage.
Yeah.
So that's Ian there. So he's currently living in America and playing for the New Zealand team.
He looks like he's fine. He might go to the sub in, but I think he's going to stay in for the game.
Just a bit of a knock there, so...
Yeah, those shots to the face, sometimes they'll bounce off your snorkel and it's totally fine. Other times they'll hit you right in the nose. And
can certainly give you a bit of a stun, so...
Yeah.
So
definitely that
on
heavy...
number 5, Martin, I'm not sure how you say that surname, Tangwe?
Tangwe, sure. Martin. Oh, he might be... It looks like he's getting out. What was his name, sorry?
So that was Ian. So he's hopped out and he's obviously just collecting his thoughts after that little knock there.
Yeah. I'm assuming he'll get back in. He's not going out to the... Oh, no, they are calling over the deck ref to come and take a look at him. Just make sure he's okay. I don't see any blood from here. Oh, I do see a little nick across the top of his nose, but was that the one from yesterday?
Well, it could be in exactly the same spot, it looks like. So it looks a bit redder than it did before. Yeah, he certainly copped a few by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I know, it was just on the side before. It looks like it's across the bridge more, so... Obviously, we have a no blood in the pool rules, so maybe they're just having a check there to make sure he's not gonna...
Yeah, just making sure everything's okay. And also, the ref timeout, I'm sure, is great for all the other players who are taking their breath
having
and ready to
a
go.
breather on both sides, so...
Yeah. It's always concerning as a player when one of your teammates hops out, because you don't know if they're okay, but you want to keep your mind focused on the game to make sure that they're not too the team isn't too affected by that one.
Especially in that back line, you don't want to have too much pressure put on that back line
consistently.
So
So is this team kind of forwards heavy or back heavy?
It's pretty even actually.
Okay.
So we're off again. It's a pretty even team. It's just that this particular game we seem to have had one back out, and now it's like they've got another back that's.
Yeah, but at least they can still have the 6 in the water, and especially with Canada down to 5,
That's right, and there
it'll
is
be
a few
little better.
players there that can definitely do multiple positions. So
Yeah,
they're quite a universal team, really.
especially with the Masters having all that experience, is gonna work out well for them, being flexible in what and where they can play.
So nice and tight in the corner
Oh
there.
no. It looks like the timeout was bumped up to 5 minutes. I don't know if that was
wow.
something wrong with the.
I'm not sure if that's a ref call.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
for
they changed the
injury
call or
or
if that's just a system error, but.
when we saw it, it was 2 minutes, so we're not
Yeah.
sure what's happened there.
But usually 5 minutes is only when it's an intentional shot.
Well, I
or
thought
it's
they
happened
did the
online.
unsportsman behavior symbol as well, so maybe that.
Yeah, they
the
definitely
deeming
did. It
was
wasn't
serious
like
enough.
that's a general shot to the face kind of thing, but.
So they must have thought it was deliberate, but I guess we'll see. We'll see if
Yeah.
this is a 2-minute timeout or if it actually is a 5.
Hopefully for Canada it's only 2, but
That's a
I
long
didn't see
time.
the.
Do you know if Martin plays a forward or a back? Like, will that influence their team? It looks like they're doing pretty well on that forward
Yeah.
structure there.
Canada's doing a really good job of attacking. Sorry, a good offense is always good defense is always good offense.
I
But it
think
does
they
look
might
like
have
they're
been
getting
against
pushed back
Canada
for obstruction.
And we've still got Ian out of the pool, so
So hopefully you can hop back in soon because this team might be getting a little tired.
well, at least they're still playing with their full team. So
Exactly, yeah. If Canada keeps fouling, this will work out pretty well for Hughes.
nice push up the wall there.
Ooh, just a little bit slippery on the
Zoltan
bottom.
getting
Puck went a
control
little
of
bit
that,
further.
trying to maintain that, and some sneaky Canadians coming through.
2-on-1.
So we have another call there. That was a nice move by the Canadians. So they're calling that a warning
That looks
for
like an
obstruction.
individual warning for obstruction.
I'm not sure who they're
Can't
pointing at there, but it's
quite
against Canada.
see who was directed at, but definitely a Canadian. I see Christopher's comments here. Ian isn't getting thrown out. He actually just got a little bit injured, so he was playing clean. The Canadians weren't.
I think they're just checking him over. I don't think he's allowed in the pool till he's cleared just because of the potential for blood, but they're not down a player. They still have 6 in the pool. It's just they need to make sure he's medically cleared.
And it does look like that was changed to a 5-minute penalty for Martin.
Yeah. So here we have against the wall again.
Canada's just still doing
Canada's still
a really
doing
good
a
job.
solid effort.
Yeah,
one-
with
one
5
player
people
down.
in, and
That's a long time. So
yeah, they're probably a bit concerned for Ian as well. Like, even if they're not on your team, it's still you don't want to see other players getting hurt.
So that's against New Zealand this time. Obstruction against New Zealand.
It looks like you're gonna get a timeout for Canada. Just trying to figure out how to absorb it when Martin comes back in, I guess. And Ian looks like he's taking control from deck, telling exactly where everyone should go.
Yeah, so he's vice captain. You've got Carl, who's captain, and you've still got Terry in the water, who's coach. So
Yeah. I do wonder if he's gonna get back in the play because he had taken off all his gear, but
looks like his cap might be going back on there. So
yeah,
it didn't look like it was actively bleeding, but knocks like that to the face can have a tendency to bleed a lot. So
exactly.
they may have just been monitoring that situation for a few minutes.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got a lot of chat in the thing, specifically talking about Quattros. Yes, they are a favorite here. I know John Harland, he'll try to use Brières, he'll try to use leaders, he'll use a bunch of different fins, and then he always goes back to the Quattros. They are his friends. Got these fancy yellow ones.
Another call.
Another call. Oh, and that looks like halftime. So Martin's still out until the next half. So he's probably getting a bit chilly.
So big shout out to our sponsors Can-Am for this tournament. They've been pretty heavily sponsoring us, and we've also got that GoFundMe Underwater Hockey World Champs thing on your screen there. That basically just helps to ensure that we keep this screening free for you guys. Also helps with camera upgrades. I know you've commented on the cameras at various times, so if you want to help out, you can do that GoFundMe Underwater Hockey World Champs 2018.
And that looks like the Canadians are being typical friendly Canadians, just checking in on the Kiwis to make sure everybody's okay. I never usually see teams talking to each other at halftime, but
it's a nice show of camaraderie, if that's what it is.
Sorry?
It's a nice show of
yeah,
sportsmanship.
Well, we are stereotypically nice, so.
Some of the argy-bargy games, it certainly didn't look like it was intentional for him to make that move, so.
I think both headphones are broken now. I can hear the underwater, but I can't hear myself. But I've been texting people who are watching and they can hear it fine.
So I guess this is just a great chance to have a rebreather and try and have a reset. There's only one goal up at this stage, so
yeah, that's pretty close.
Could be anyone's game still. New Zealand's certainly going to try and get the goal on the board as well there and take this back, so it'll be interesting to see how this next half plays out. Canada certainly can't relax just yet. It's anyone's game still.
Even though we have been spending a lot of time on the other teams.
Yeah, so we've still got a minute and a half on that timeout when they go back in as well. So that's still a pretty decent time down with just the 5, but at least they've had a chance to have a breather. They did really well in that last bit just to keep that play. I mean, 3.5 minutes with 5 players at the second part of the first half where you're quite tired. They've done a great job. So we're trying to sort out some of our commentators' headsets here. Obviously, it's a work in progress with people pulling cords and breaking things, so we're just trying to make sure that everything's working as it should. So we have the tech experts in trying to sort that out for us at the moment. So we're just trying to work out what we can hear. This sounds pretty similar to me from yesterday, so through these I'm hearing a little bit. I can hear myself a little bit, yeah. So can you let us know in the chat if you're having any problems hearing the refs at all? And not the refs, us, sorry, the commentators.
Yeah, we're refs. We make decisions.
From our box.
Yeah, exactly. We make our opinions heard.
That was a call.
The refs it looks like there's only a few seconds
left.
left.
Here we go, guys. Back off again. Still a minute and a half on that timeout. Sorry, the sin bin.
So it looks like it's a very equal strike right off to the edge. Canada trying to make that swing around. They've still got a minute and a bit to wait off for this penalty until they get back up to 6 players. And it really looks like New Zealand's taking advantage of that extra body. And it does appear like Ian is back in the pool. I believe he's back in the pool. He might just be sitting
like
somewhere
he was
else.
getting ready to hop in, so I believe that's happened.
I no longer see him on deck.
So New Zealand obviously really wanting to get a goal at this point. They give them a whole extra 15, 14 minutes to get that second goal and try and win this game. So it's been a nice game so far. It's been a fairly clean game. I don't think that was an intentional sort of injury that was caused there. Some of the games we've seen have been much rougher than this one. So they're loving their wall. You can probably see the last 15 minutes with the first half. They were loving the walls as well. Those teams taking it over to get a bit of control and then try and get through. It means a lot of bodies and it's pretty hard to see what's happening even for the refs. A lot of calls for the other pool there.
Yeah, a lot of, for this game, that's a really long time without a call, especially for a Masters men's game.
Yeah, I think the last one Ellen and I did, it was almost every 30 seconds we were having another call, so this is a very different type of game.
Some people want to make sure that everyone's like, oh yeah, let the game play on, let the game play on, but it is really important to have these calls. If we didn't have refs in the water, it would be a much different type of game.
But it's a much more tiring game when it's like this with long breaks where they're having massive swims. They don't get that breather.
Yeah. Ooh, big swim, just shut down. I believe he was coming in from the sub bench too, that Canadian.
So we have all our players back in now, I believe?
Yeah, these
6 on 6
I believe
again.
Martin just hopped back in about 30 seconds ago, maybe?
A little bit of rough play
Just
there.
ooh, nice bodies on the bottom there.
You free arming.
You can really see the difference as soon as you got that extra body.
You can see there 2 players popping up with that other buzzer. So, as I said, if they think there's a foul against them, they're going to pop to the surface when they hear those buzzers, regardless of whether it's the right ball.
And
I think the
especially if
refs
they-
may have seen that too, so they're just going to have a quick timeout and work
Yeah.
out.
Generally, refs don't really care if the other team surfaced on the wrong buzzer. They'll try to tell you if like you're surfacing. You're like,
Oh,
no,
I
this
just
is
think
okay."
they believed a foul had happened, so they
Yeah,
surfaced,
yeah.
and it looks like the refs might have seen that too. So
But they're definitely having a discussion about it. Looks like they think it's a free arm. I love reading the refs' hand signals because they're always like they're just doing the calls.
it
It's
looks
not like
like
they're
it's
trying to
against
be
the
secret.
Canadians here. 2 minutes. For
And who do you
barging.
think this is? If it's Martin again, I'm gonna laugh because that's
Poor Canada
that's
have had
a
a few
lot
out.
of time. Yeah. And
This
that 5-minute
particular
penalty
game.
really hurts. I believe it's number 7, which is John Harlan. Let's take a look. Oh no, that's a number 5. Number 5 is Martin. So have fun in the sim bin. I'm not sure if that was you or if you were just taking the fall, but
So we're back into play now. Sorry, we'll get that other screen up for you. New Zealand had that advantage puck there. Oh, and we have another red
call has been
so
made. This one for stick infringement. That's New Zealand, 1 in the box. I didn't quite see the number yet. I like the very clear pointing of who needs to get out.
Yeah, I've actually seen the refs chase after fins and grab the fins before and
Yeah.
stop players that way. So they make sure they get the right person.
And I can definitely hear the teammates yelling at him to get out from here. That's Craig, I believe.
Craig, yeah.
I can hear his teammates yelling from the sub bench sitting in this commentary box. I'm not sure if he was about to start arguing with the refs or if he just didn't quite understand yet.
So that's 5-on-5 now.
Yeah. Equal hockey, even if not
Yeah,
ideal.
pretty equal, and they're both pretty much coming in at similar times. So
And
Bit of
lots
to
of
and
push in the
fro.
middle.
Yep.
Nice break by New Zealand, but a call has been made. This one's going to be against New Zealand for a
Illegal stop.
for a block into
illegal
the
knockdown, yeah.
knockdown. That was what I was looking for. Yeah, these refs are much better than I am because they're just going, and I have no idea what's happening until they're calling it.
It takes a while for our brain to catch up sometimes with the
Yeah.
calls. It's happening so fast. So.
And I guess the refs have been doing this for like a week and a bit now. They are on top of all that information. And this is a good push on the net. Oh, that is a Canadian just breaking it through. And this is where bodies on the bottom really comes into contact. There's only
That's
one
right.
Canadian down there for a bit.
So another call by the refs there.
And
See
Craig
what
just
the-
hopped back in. Martin's probably going to get in when this play resets.
So I'm not sure what that call was because they seem to be focusing on that person coming back
Yeah.
in, but it looks like it's against Canada.
And
So
even though we've
New
been
Zealand
spending a
advantage
lot of
puck.
time in the New Zealand end, New Zealand's doing an amazing job of defending. We've got 1 goal in
Oh, it's
20
been a
minutes of play.
fantastic game. Taking it to the wall, trying to protect that puck. with
Nice
the
hit by that
curls,
Kiwi.
Doing some nice curls there just to try and keep possession.
Yeah, they seem to be on the far wall a lot, which is pretty bad for the camera, but the
Another
clarity here is
call
pretty good. Yeah, you seem to be having a little bit of trouble seeing when they're on the far wall, but
It's very
we can't
difficult
tell them
and
where to play.
The camera just doesn't give us any idea. We can't zoom in, unfortunately.
Yeah. We've got a good camera system, but there's only so much you can do. You can't put the camera in the middle of the play, because then they're not too thrilled about it, the players or the refs.
If they go too close, it can get kicked, and you're not allowed within a certain distance of that wall. So we've had a few people get the cameras stuck on other games. So
And once they get stuck, they're broken. Take at least a game to put back together, so
Yeah.
that's not good for our footage. And sometimes they get kicked by either photographers or players who are in the sub bench.
the coaches like to sit in the spot we like
Coaches.
to drive the cameras. So
And you get the little black rubber marks all over the camera after you get them cleaned off.
another call there. So looks like it's against New Zealand, I think.
Yep. And we
And
do have
another
6
sticking
back in the water for each team, so let's see how long we can keep this up.
And we've got just on 9 minutes on the clock still. Fast off the clock there.
Ooh, nice big
All
shot
the
there.
bodies
They're just
down. That's great to see.
wasn't
Good to
quite
see
anyone
all those
there.
People down.
Yeah, everybody from each team is down on the bottom.
And we have another call there by a ref. Just a
ref
ref's
timeout.
timeout. So obviously going to have a bit of
I
discussion.
love when they wave and immediately call a ref timeout. It's like, you know they have things to talk about.
Yeah, maybe there was a few things happening there. There was a lot of people down on the bottom, like both teams were down there. This will give the players a little bit of a chance to have a breather for 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, but you know, just a
5 minutes is a little.
Sometimes it does take 5 minutes. Normally that's when they're contesting whether it was
I believe there is an actual time limit for how much time the refs can take as a timeout distributed throughout the game, but I've heard it be 5, I've heard it be like 15, and it's always more than they usually need.
So they're calling that a
penalty shot for illegal blockage. So let's see, illegal knockdown. Blockage sounds like some digestive issues. But yeah, so it looks, let's see if we can get these numbers. That looks like number 5, which is Martin, and number 7 for the Canadians, which is that number 7? Yeah, which is John Harlan, who is a player that I play with often. I can't quite see the Kiwis number there.
So holding the wall down.
Ooh, nice stop so far. Oh, but it looks like it goes in. Let's see if it's clean. No goal.
No goal.
Looks like they're calling a ref timeout.
Dangerous.
2 of the refs said no goal. 1, I believe.
Maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're going to call that
Let's
one.
see what they decide. We got a nice angle on them from here. Because 2 of the refs said no goal, but the other one, I believe, thinks she got it, or thinks there was a goal.
Maybe it was gloving. I'm not sure.
I guess she believes that the Kiwi had fouled it, and they believe that the Canadians had. Oh, there's a goal.
Okay, so
nicely done, Canada. So
New Zealand will not be happy about that.
Yeah. Penalty one shots are always hard because they're giving you a chance, but really, it's not often that people defend it. And that's a close up.
They've done incredibly well. There's only 2 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's very, very close.
Really well. So this is when they start getting tired in this very last quarter of the game.
Yeah, you can see some people get frustrated and just like all their anger comes out and they just get an extra burst of energy, and some people are just getting worn on and are getting done with this game. Looks like there's a lot of swimming going on, so it might be picked up a little bit of energy here. Big swim by the Kiwi there. Right across the pool, looking for his teammate. A little bit late, but still managed to get there in time. Here the Canadians are just catching up, slowing them down. And yeah, it is quite hard on the far end of the pool, but it looks like Canadians are getting a swing and another call. This one against the Canadians for illegal knockdown. That's a lot of illegal knockdowns. Like, I would have figured there were maybe during snick infringement.
And we're pretty much at halfway on this one, so.
Okay, yeah.
Nice little flick there.
Just picked up by the Canadian. That was beautiful.
Straight to the ball there.
Back on the close ball, which is always good.
Oh, that was
wonderful pick. That was
a little cheeky steal.
JS, beautiful pull. Canadians are getting just more and more energy. They don't seem to be tiring out right now. And they're nice. There's so much gap control here. There's not much time when that puck isn't in contact with Canadians. I like watching the violence right against the wall. There's so much power behind these men.
Oh, nice stop by the New Zealand team there. Gonna want to really get it out and get into that corner.
So many. Oh, and they just missed that last wave of the Canadians.
Good work, Kiwis. So
Kiwis are always down. They're always there, ready to go. Looks like that went in. Let's see if that's a goal. And that's another goal for Canada. Didn't quite see what the number is, but I'm sure the refs did. That was John Harland having that goal. He swims a lot. That's what he does.
It's been a nice game to watch. It's been fairly clean. Obviously, it's pretty fast on the bottom there. Lots of bodies down.
Yeah, it looks like the Kiwis are calling a timeout for this last 6 minutes of the game. Getting some energy back. Yeah, that was 2 goals that went in pretty quickly, which it might have just, the first one might have just gotten in their head a little bit, and they want to get out of that and have some more power coming back in. They've been doing a really good job of defending, but that last drive on Canada was just textbook perfect.
So there's New Zealand with the coach and the captain and vice captain just pulling it together.
I'm not sure what they're talking about, but probably trying to just get back in the game.
Carl giving the boys some advice.
So I've got 15 seconds to get back. And this is going to start from a strike, so right after the last goal. And they're off.
I love watching how fast the Finns move with some of these boys on these strikes.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see the speed.
Especially the Brières that have those nice like waves in them. There's some players who have a little bit too stiff and have to kick really hard and they don't bend that much. But the ones who have a little bit softer fins, the bend they get in those fins is wonderful.
And the little Najades, they've got to move them extra fast. So
yeah.
it's kind of fun watching the guys with that one. And then we have another call on that far wall where it's a bit difficult to see what's going on.
And there's a stick infringement.
So it looks like someone else is being called out.
That's number 5.
Minute.
That's Martin again. Oh, that might be. I don't know if that was number 5. Let's take a look.
I think it might be New Zealand with Sean Hartley going out, actually.
Oh, really? Because it did look like they pushed Canada back at first.
He doesn't like being in the sin bin there. So.
Yeah, but you're right. That was 13.
Sean Hartley.
Sean, yeah.
I'll make him remember later. So.
Oh yeah,
Sean's my husband, so
you've got lots to say.
I'll bring it up. Yeah, there'll be a screenshot of that one.
I really enjoy when it's someone you're pretty close friends with in the penalty box,
like
and you're like, I know what you did.
Terry taking it to the corner there and just controlling it. Yeah, well, you've got to make them remember, right?
We've got just about 4.5 minutes left in the game, and another call has been made.
Something.
Just under Sean's fin, so I can, looks like a illegal stoppage or a stick infringement. I just saw the hand waving, but it is against the Canadians, so they're getting pushed back.
And Sean just getting ready to hop back in the water shortly.
Yeah, he'll probably 5 seconds after the gong goes off. And just a little bit of late sub there by the Kiwis, but they seem to be in time. Canadians right up there, not giving them any space off that advantage.
Nice play up the wall there, but the refs have spotted something else, so... another player up for 1 minute. Looks like it might be Carl.
And they had just gotten Sean back in the water, and number 5 is Carl getting put in the bin.
He's the captain of that team, so that's unfortunate.
The good news is this is right close to the camera, so...
Yeah, Canada had all that time out in the first half, so...
It's all equaling out now.
So New Zealand are going to want to really defend now for that extra minute. Get their bodies down, and they're going to be a bit tired, but they've just got to really push. So you can see we've got some of those players down. So Sean's back in now as well, you can see that.
You just see Yuri there getting some pictures of this really intense game.
Ooh.
Looks like it was that wasn't going to be a goal, I don't believe.
Just before the goal, but are they
yeah.
Yep, so
2
2
minutes
minutes
out
for unsportsmanlike behaviour to one of the Canadians there. Number 14, is it?
Looks like they're having a discussion,
so it looks like there might have been, maybe they were playing a few different
players are not thrilled. That's number 12, that's Simone, who is making his opinion
very
heard.
Stunned.
Sorry?
He's looking a bit stunned.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the captain is, but I don't think it's him. So I really don't think you should be
It's good the refs are discussing this, though. At least we'll get all 3 opinions. And Carl's just got about 25 seconds left on that sin bin there. Looks like Patrick Fortin, number 14, is out for 2 minutes.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that's what they're debating, if he might come back in, or if he's definitely out for almost the remainder of the game. Because we do have about 3 minutes left. Looks like they might be calling him back in, yeah. So Patrick's not going to be in the sin bin. Okay, so that's against New Zealand. Canada's advantage. That's just a person popping up in the way.
And so you've just got Ian, the vice captain here, discussing with the refs, trying to work out exactly what that call was about.
It's really hard to...
Obviously, you want to call it now with the refs. You don't want to wait till after the game and try and work out what happened. So
I'm pretty sure there's going to be some questions after the game, a little bit more detail. But I do hope they get back to the game soon and they can discuss it later. The refs have already made their decision.
So refs watching the game closely.
Yeah, that ref in the back has something to say. He's playing the advantage right now on surface. And he did decide to make that call.
Okay, so
and
we're
that
doing another
does look like a
penalty
penalty
shot
shot for a legal lockdown. So let's see what's going to be again this time. It does look like it's going to be Martin and John for Canada. And do you see the number? That's number 9 for the Kiwis, which
so
is...
that's Terry, the captain there.
Yeah, Terry Axford.
I'm pretty sure he took the last one too. But,
see what the camera's focusing on. And it's really interesting with these men's teams, especially with the huge shots that they can get off, that often they can just shoot it the full 3 meters from the point into the net. And it looks like it was a nice clean finish. Let's see what the refs think. It does look like another goal for Canada.
So we do have that sin bin on the screen at the moment for Patrick, but that was rescinded by the refs, so that isn't actually in play.
Yeah,
He's
so
in
penalty
the
shots don't actually count into the time of the game. They're actually on hold.
So we do have Carl Brooks still out for 4 seconds, but that's the only sin bin currently.
Yeah, Patrick currently is in the water. They actually changed their mind about that one. But yeah, so penalty shots actually don't count into the final time of the game. So it still counts as a ref time out.
And taken by Canada again.
And we are working on fixing the time, but we don't have control of that. But I'm passing on the message. Ooh, nice clear shot right there up to Canadian.
Right up into that corner.
Yeah.
So New Zealand are going to want to hold it up there and get control back, but looks like Canada are going to try and bring that out and bring that through into a goal there.
Canada seems to be keep driving it into the corner. I would expect them to try to get out and go around and into the net.
I think they
just
tried to
hard.
before, yeah. But
yeah.
Looks like New Zealand just managed to put it back in there.
Ooh, look at this
nice
space right here.
And
New Zealand another call has been made.
So pre-arming.
There's been a lot of stoppages, but still that's Worlds. Like, there's a lot of stoppages in play, and that's just how it is because the refs here are generally a bit higher quality than those at smaller level tournaments.
So Canada with the advantage puck. Nice little flick into the middle, but as you can see, with not a lot of vision on that. And managed to get out and cleared by Terry there. Nice swim down there by the Canadians.
Again, just sitting in the corner. There's the push they wanted. Just over the Kiwi stick. It looks like it went in. Let's see if that was clean.
Looks like that's a goal.
And that looks like another goal for Canada. So that's 5-0 for Canada so far with just a minute left. I'm still waiting to get that number from the deck, and that looks like it was Eric, number 8 from Canada, who made that 5th goal. And you can see the other game's already finished in the other pool, getting some of the players out, and we're back at this game. Nice clean start by
Canada. Nice game to watch this one. There's a lot of passion in that water, but they're keeping it clean. So a lot of to and fro between the two teams. My stick, my puck.
Looks like Canada's just trying to wait out this time. Or not, maybe. seeing if they can cram another goal in that. That did look in stick infringement, holding that Kiwi's hands back.
This
but
angle, though, we have the luxury of a different angle than the refs. So.
yeah,
Looks like they
exactly.
might have called.
And that does look like time. So that's going to be a 5-0 victory for Canada over New Zealand. And we'll see if we can get some interviews with some of the players.
Alrighty, I am here with number 7 on the Canadian Masters team, John Harland. John Harland in this very close game converting not 1 but 2 penalty goals. And more importantly, John Harland is married to the Masters women player, Bonnie Chan, a phenomenal player. Tell me, John, what is that like?
It's 100 pounds of fury all the time. You got to watch it. That's a lot of PSI in a small fist.
Again, John, playing some really good hard hockey. Did Bonnie teach you all of that?
Some of it, yes. She taught me how to curl. She taught me how to elbow. She taught me how to kick people accidentally on the way around.
Did she find you had a lot of trouble with the simple stuff, or was it pretty easy for her to get you up and ready for this level of competition?
I don't know. I don't learn very quickly, but I'm doing the best I can, really.
My last question, how did you find the outfits that they make you wear here affected your daily routine? Was it okay just as was, or did you find that it was a hindrance on your daily routines?
What daily outfit? My headgear? I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming out, John. Send our regards to Bonnie. We look forward to seeing more of her in this championship. Thank you very much. Have a great day.